Well, Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, is deliberately targeting young users, according to 33 attorneys general who are continuing to fight this case across the country. And that includes our Missouri Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, who joins us on KCMO Talk Radio. Mr. Attorney General, we appreciate the time. And we've talked to you about this case before, but I saw it back in the news this week. So where are we at right now?
Well, this case is moving forward, and it's all about protecting children. And I can't thank you enough for having me on and for covering this important story. Just within the last few days, the court has unsealed the complaint, the petition that was filed in this case, 233 pages of allegations, specific allegations that demonstrate that Meta manipulated the features of its platform to make it more addictive to children because they wanted kids hooked on their big tech social media platform so that they could harvest their personal information. It's highly valuable to them. So in the pursuit of profits, they're putting children's mental health, emotional health at risk.
I mean, it's amazing. We are, especially this time of year during the holidays, I'm seeing a lot of media coverage on the mental well-being, the struggles of kids in particular, and how it's at a crisis level right now in the wake of COVID. But I think the social media game is playing an enormous part into that, Mr. Attorney General. So how do you view it in terms of what you can do along with this lawsuit to try to protect kids right now who just aren't getting that protection and are getting targeted by these companies?
Yeah, well, we've got to hold the wrongdoers accountable. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act has been misinterpreted by the courts, and it's allowed this big tech monopoly to exist, and it's been largely unfettered from any kind of regulation or accountability. And so that's what this lawsuit is about. We're not going to let them harm kids in the pursuit of blind pursuit of profits. And so we want an injunction. We want to put a stop to it, to expose these algorithms for what they are. If there are issues with these algorithms where they're specifically targeting children and trying to get children addicted to the platform, they need to label their product as such, and there needs to be parental consent. There's a law in the books since 1998 on the federal statute books that requires if they're going to target children and harvest data from children under the age of 13, they've got to obtain parental consent. We know they didn't do that. We need to expose the science and the data behind it that we believe big tech has covered up that would demonstrate that increased screen time is dangerous for kids. Again, it's dangerous for their mental health. It's dangerous for their emotional health. It's dangerous for their well-being. A whistleblower has certainly come forward in the past and exposed that companies like Meta and Instagram knew about this and covered it up, and we've got to get that in the public domain so that people know what they're dealing with. That's what this lawsuit's about, and we're going to keep pushing forward to fight to protect children.
So, Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, is here on KCMO. I've been seeing these, I don't know if they're ads or what they are, on Facebook or Instagram, where they're now, I think, hedging their bets a little bit. And it says basically, hey, we support restrictions on our apps for those under 16, parental controls on our apps for kids under 16. Is that just them trying to basically, I don't know, protect themselves? I can't imagine they just woke up one day and said, yeah, we're going to actually make this better for parents and safer for kids.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, they see this coming. They see the winds changing. They see that people are waking up to what's going on here, and there are states like Missouri where I'm fighting to hold them accountable. Here's what they have to do. There are these things called recommendation algorithms. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's the manipulative algorithm that is specifically designed to as children get onto the app and start viewing the features, this recommendation algorithm feeds the kids more of whatever the kids like to keep them hooked. They want them on that screen time longer. The longer the child is on the screen, the longer the more data Meta can harvest and then sell. And again, it's highly valuable. So if big tech really wants to change, if Meta really wants to change, show us the recommendation algorithm. Change the recommendation algorithm. Remember the 1990s with big tobacco, when it came about that they were specifically advertising and marketing dangerous products to children, and the whole industry collapsed. The whole industry was forever changed and transformed because of those pernicious advertising those attempts to advertise to kids. Well, that's exactly what's going on here with these recommendation algorithms.
Yeah.
I think history is going to look back at this moment in time and say, this is where we turn the tide. It's kind of like the movie The Matrix, right? I mean, do you remember The Matrix, where the computer system that controls the world wants people plugged into the computer system and oblivious to the real world around them? That's Meta. I mean, it's like something out of a science fiction movie.
Yeah. Last good Keanu Reeves movie as well. That's a good point there. Yeah. Andrew Bailey is on KCMO Talk Radio. Okay, so 33 states, and this is pretty bipartisan, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, protecting kids should be bipartisan.
Yeah, it should be a
with
no-brainer.
33 states. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it took other states this long to wake up to this issue. Certainly, Missouri has been pushing back fighting against big tech in the context of government censorship on big tech social media platforms. So we've led the nation on this issue in a lot of ways, but glad to see some of our colleagues joining in. And I think that this is going to ultimately be a successful lawsuit, again, to hold Meta accountable for targeting children and trying to get kids addicted to their platforms at the expense of their health.
So the end game here is to get them to change their algorithm. Like that's a win for you in this case.
Yeah, put a stop to the use of this recommendation algorithm, change the algorithms, obtain parental consent if you're going to be harvesting children's data online. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And then I think there needs to be a compensation fund to study the negative health consequences of too much screen time and make that information available to the public so parents can make better decisions about what their kids are doing.
Okay, so what's a timeline on this case? I know everything takes longer in the courts than it should, but what's next and what's the timeline on this whole thing?
Well, we hope to be in court arguing in favor of an injunction, preferably within the next 3 to 4 months. I think that the evidence is there. Again, when you've got 233 pages of facts and allegations alleged in the petition, and when you've got this many states pushing this forward, I think the court understands that there's immediate harm and there's a need to step in and issue an injunction. So we'll keep pushing it forward. I anticipate we will have movement within the next 30, 60, 90 days.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great work. And Missouri, just to be clear, is leading the way on this.
Absolutely, yeah. Proud to be leading the fight against big tech. You know, obviously you and I have talked in the past about the case Missouri v. Biden, where we've exposed government censorship on big tech. This is just one more example of big tech harming the American people and harming Missourians, and I'm going to fight to protect Missouri.
Yeah, well, Andrew Bailey, we appreciate the work on that front, and we'll be talking to you soon. Have a great day.
Thanks, Pete. Same to you.
All right. Very well done there by the Attorney General.